Six people lived on a remote farm in Bavaria, Germany, in 1922. The farm was called Hinterkaifeck. It stood alone, surrounded by forest, cut off from the nearest village. There were no close neighbors, no streetlights, just fields, shadows, and silence. The Gruber family had lived there for generations. Andreas Gruber, his wife, Kazilia, their widowed daughter, Victoria, Victoria's two young children, and on March 31st, 1922, a new maid arrived, Maria Baumgartner. Life on the farm was quiet, but not peaceful. Weeks before the murders, Andreas reported something strange. Footprints appeared in the snow, leading from the forest to the house, but none of the footprints led back out. He searched the property, the barn, the attic. He found nothing. Then strange things continued. Keys went missing. A newspaper arrived that no one had ordered. Tools were moved. Footsteps were heard in the attic at night. The previous maid had quit months earlier, claiming the house was haunted. Moving along the forest line. Whispers in the village suggested the house was cursed. Some said someone had been hiding inside the attic, watching, listening, waiting. The family ignored the warnings until the night of March 31st. That night, one by one, the family members were lured into the barn. Investigators later believed each was called out separately. Andreas went first, then his wife, Cecilia, then Victoria, then the children. Inside the barn, each was killed with a mattock, a heavy farming tool, with a sharp blade, brutally, deliberately, executed with terrifying precision. The murderer then returned to the house. Maria was killed in her bed. The youngest child was murdered in the crib. 6 lives ended that night. But the most horrifying part, the bodies were not discovered immediately. For days, life at the farm seemed normal. Smoke rose from the chimney. The animals were fed. Meals were prepared. It was as if the killer continued living among the dead. On April 4th, neighbors grew concerned. The children had not shown up for school. The family missed church. Mail remained uncollected. 2 neighbors, Lorenz Schlittenbauer and another villager, decided to investigate. They entered the barn first and discovered the bodies, stacked, covered with hay. Inside the house, the maid was found in her room, and the youngest child was discovered in his bed. The crime scene was horrifying. Police from Munich arrived shortly after. They examined the barn, the attic, the house. They found signs someone had been living in the attic, food remnants, disturbed hay, footprints leading to the house, but none led away. The murder weapon, the mattock, was later found hidden on the property, but there were no fingerprints, no forced entry, no signs of robbery. Money and valuables were untouched, which meant this was personal. Over 100 suspects were investigated over the years. One man stood out, Lorenz Schlittenbauer, the very neighbor who discovered the bodies. He had a complicated relationship with Victoria. Some believed he may have been the father of her youngest child. Witnesses claimed he acted strangely at the crime scene. He touched items, moved objects, and seemed to know the property too well. Yet there was never enough evidence to arrest him. Other suspects included former farmhands with grudges, traveling criminals passing through Bavaria, political extremists in post-war Germany, even family members with past disputes. No arrests were made. No convictions followed. Neighbors later reported strange sightings before the murders, figures along the forest line, unfamiliar faces near the property, lights flickering at odd hours. Andreas had complained of noises in the attic, whispers of family secrets, financial disputes, incest allegations. But rumors were unproven. Evidence was lacking. Theories emerged. Some believed it was revenge. Others said a mentally unstable stranger had hidden in the attic for days. Some suggested jealousy, a secret lover, or someone who had insider knowledge of the family. The footprints in the snow support the chilling idea. They led to the house, but none led out. Whoever entered may have already been inside, living with the corpses of the family, watching, studying the family, planning the perfect moment. The crime scene was poorly preserved. Villagers walked through before police could seal it. Important clues may have been destroyed. The farm was eventually demolished in 1923, erasing the walls, the attic, and possibly any final evidence. Yet the mystery survives. The footprints that led in, but never out. The killer who stayed behind, fed the animals, slept under the same roof as the dead. Who was already inside that house? A jealous lover, a vengeful neighbor, a silent watcher in the attic. More than a century later, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of Germany's most baffling unsolved crimes. No arrests, no convictions, no final answers, only theories and silence. This is Crime Story Lock. Subscribe for more unsolved mysteries.